Hi, good morning, good afternoon, sorry. I run employability focus projects for refugees in central London. So we are dealing with about 300 people with right to work, and obviously they have lots of barriers to employment. So you're probably aware of some of the barriers, and we can just add something to my presentation. But I want to talk about the main barriers people experience when they're looking for a job. We kind of working with refugees and asylum seekers, and I just want to ask you a question. Do asylum seekers have right to work?
Occasionally.
Can you tell me? Do they have right to work? No. Well, we have actually 5 asylum seekers with right to work, and they have restricted right to work on SOL, short-term operational list, and but mainly we work with refugees with right to work. So they have biometric residence permit, and that's the first barrier as well, because lots of employers they don't recognize this document. They asking for passport, so for UK passport or for their country passport, their home country passport with a stamp on it. So that's kind of barriers as well, lack of recognition. So one of the main barriers we identify working with refugees is obviously English language. So we have English language, and then lack of employer recognition of skills. Support agencies very limited due to funding issues, unfamiliarity with job markets, and practical barriers like childcare, housing, financial situation, public employer perception of refugees, and personal circumstances as well. So obviously the main barrier when our client experience is English language. We do have lots of ESOL support, especially in London. Every council has ESOL classes for refugees. Unfortunately, refugees, in many occasions, they don't know about it. So there's a lack of signposting, and sometimes because we deal with housing first, refugees don't have even time to attend ESOL classes because they have so many practical issues. Like, for example, once they given refugee status, they have to leave their accommodation within 4 weeks. And can you imagine if you don't speak English? For people who speak English, it's difficult to find accommodation within 4 weeks. And if you don't, it's such a drama, and they end up on the street, and it's like lots of my clients being evicted from their hostels, and we have to deal with it first. So we also help clients if they have great skills but they don't speak English. Just recently we placed one of our clients with a fashion company because they desperate needs of machine operators. So he doesn't speak English, well, just very little, but he started working, and we're very pleased for him. He just passed his work trial, and everyone was amazed with how he does the things, because he's been in this industry for 15 years. So obviously that was a great job outcome, but for most cases, English language is a great barrier. So lack of recognition of overseas qualifications is also it's very grey area. First of all, we work with NARIC, and the problem is lots of my clients, they don't have money to pay for accreditation. So recently it cost £120 with translation, just to do an equivalency, some kind of equivalency assessment. So for my clients, it's a lot of money. We do pay for NARIC accreditation, but not many community organizations can actually cover costs of qualification accreditation, so which is really sad. So again, it's a lack of funding would be another barrier. In many European countries, employers recognize some qualifications of refugees. They recognize accredited learning, but not in UK, unfortunately. So we have to arrange work experience placement in some occasions, and also they have to be re-qualified, need to go on the training courses, which again, in some occasions cost lots of money, and again, they can't afford it. So it's back to when they start from. So sometimes because of again English level, they have to start from level 1 or from very basic kind of level of training. Lack of work experience is also one of the biggest barriers. We have lots of very well qualified participants, but again, because they don't have a paid experience in UK, even unpaid work experience in UK, it's very difficult for them to secure employment. So we know NHS struggling, and also engineering industries, they in desperate needs of people, and we have engineers on board, and we work with Transitions. It's a great company, and they help engineers from abroad to secure apprenticeship, so secure internship, paid internship actually, and sometimes straight jobs. But it's just one company I'm aware of. So and it's also it's very sad, especially with the employment situation at the moment in the UK. So we have a qualified specialist, and we can't find a job. So so we also, our participants experience other kind of practical issues, like childcare, for example, and we do have some money for childcare, but in many occasions, refugees cannot afford to pay for their childcare, so they can't really. If they have an offer for work experience and it's unpaid kind of work experience, they can't go on this program because of the childcare issues. It's very expensive, as you know, in the UK. So the personal circumstances also contribute, and for example, most of my clients experience trauma, and they have mental health issues, and so we don't have qualified practitioners who can actually work with them, recognize the signs of it, and in most cases, practitioners just get on with job search, and this is not a very holistic approach. So there are many. I just want to repeat my presentations that probably there are lots of clients I have. They suffer from isolation and lack of confidence, and we kind of we can't really offer proper support for them. Nationally, that's a struggle. We're struggling with it right now. We have Host a Nation program, which I think is really great, and I hope someone will talk about it later on. And I think it will be nice to create some kind of social platform for refugees, not just helping them with employment. So it will help them to overcome these barriers. So mental health is one of the biggest barriers as well to employment, and as I said, they don't have support. I mean, enough support. I mean, I think because we don't have a structure, we don't have enough money to support our clients, and we don't have enough training. So lots of my employment advisors actually don't have training in mental health, which is really, I mean, sad. So also one of the biggest problem refugee experience is a lack of knowledge of UK market, the job market. Also, there's a big difference in applying for jobs in different countries. Sometimes my participants, they don't really know how interview works because it's also different in every country, and there's a lack of signposting, and also there is not much choice for refugees. There is no specific agency which can help them to make right choices and to train them in terms of job skills. So it's a difficulties. I mean, they're dealing with lots of difficulties in terms of job hunting and knowledge of how employment system operates in UK. Also, public perception of refugees. As you know, refugees face a number of prejudices, and it's encouraged by media. So it also doesn't help in terms of employability. So I have quite a few refugees and with a great outcome in terms of employment, and we done few case studies, and it's now in press, and it's just it was so great. And I think if we have lots of positive articles in media, then it might change the situation. But at the moment, it doesn't look good in terms of perception of refugees. And lack of support in general. We have lots of companies. Well, I'm talking about London, but in London we have lots of community-based organizations helping refugees. We have specific programs, like my program funded by Big Lottery, and I know about 7 other programs which is funded by Big Lottery. But lots of my clients, they have no idea about these programs, and again, like lack of signposting, and also there are specific rules applies when they register with one program, they cannot register with another program, or if there is even kind of a fight between 2 companies saying, no, this is my client and he's already registered with me. So there are lots of issues in terms of providing professional support to refugees. We have 300 people at the moment, and we help about 70 people to get a job. So we have about 6 months to go, and I hope we will have extension to be able to help refugees into employment and to help them to achieve what they really want, and also break these barriers. Thank you.